Hi, Susan. A few minutes ago, I made an 11-minute video, and for whatever reason, that video that long didn't want to post on YouTube, so I'm going to try to make this much shorter. Okay, long story short, this is a very famous investment formula, and I'm going to try to explain it, and hopefully we can use it together here. Okay, I'm going to try to explain all these variables here. A is what? A is the amount of money you have at the very end of your investment. Okay. P is very important. P is the principal, how much money you're going to start with. Okay. Let's see. We have R. R is your rate of interest per year, and that's going to be entered as a decimal. And then this value N here, I don't think it's going to apply to your problem. Usually this is a value of 12, so it's compounded 12 times a year. But in the wording of your word problems, it doesn't sound like there's any sort of compounding per year, like biannually or 6 times a year or monthly. So I'm just going to assume it's just 1 time a year. So N would be 1. And then T is going to be the years. All right, so I made up a little example in here. So if I have an investment of $200,000, that's my P amount, that's my initial investment. If I have a rate of return of 5%, that's my R value right there. That's what's going to go right there. What else do we have? Like I said before, we have an N value of 1. It's only being compounded once a month. And then we have another value here, T. T is 8 in my little example, and that's 8. So when I break out my calculator, which is in my hand right now, and I'm going to go 1 plus 0.05, enter, and they're going to raise that to the 8th power, and then I'm going to take that number, and at the very end, I'm going to take that number and times it by 200,000. In my little example here, you can use your calculator as well. This is the amount I'm getting after an 8-year investment of 200,000 returned into 295. Okay, so how does that relate to your problem? So your problem here is very sophisticated. I'm just going to address the investment aspect, and again I'm going to use our formula. So in our case, we have an initial investment of $180,000. We have a rate of return which is 10%. That's why I'm using 0.1 right there. And in our case, our T value is 10. So when I break out the calculator, I'm going to go 1 plus 0.1 for 10%, because that's the rate of return they want. And I'm going to raise it to the 10th power, and then I'm going to times that number by 180,000. So if this investment of $180,000 was giving us an 8% return without taxes, at the end of 10 years, that's what the value of our investment should be. All the other jargon related to your problem, I'm not sure how it relates. I think I would need a little lesson myself to refresh my memory on revenue and taxes, and then this other problem within the problem of, I think they're talking about some sort of fire losses of 20%. I'm not sure how it relates to the 8% they're mentioning here before. And then the spreadsheet you would set up would give us all sorts of different scenarios based upon their value of a dollar received after 10 years. Okay. The other problem that you gave me, here's a copy of it right here. There's 2 models. I created an equation for the first model. As you can see, it's given us $30,000 per year. That's X here, per year. And then we have an initial one-time shell out of some money at year 1 of $80,000. Okay, the other one is generating $32,000 worth of savings per year, but this one's costing us more money. So I'm going to get rid of this coloring here, and let me use 2 different colors to show you something. If I graph the blue one, which is model 1, it would look something like that. It's generating more and more savings every single year. If I graph model 2, notice it would start a little bit below this graph, but since it's earning more savings per year because it's 32,000, there's going to be some sort of break-even point, and that occurs at year 5. At year 5, if you plug in 5, to both of these values of x, you're going to get 70,000. So what does that mean? At the end of 5 years, it doesn't really matter what at exactly year 5, it doesn't matter which proposal you chose. Prior to year 5, it's more of a savings to use Model 1, but after year 5, it is more beneficial without taxes, without any of the other jargon they mentioned in here. It's definitely more beneficial after year 5 to use model number 2. So hopefully that helps, and hopefully this video will work. Okay, thanks, bye.